In this video, I'll be sharing with you how to create this transition effect using Kdenlive and... Whoa, wait! Okay then, so without any further ado, let's get right into it. So let's start with our first effect, and it would be this one here with the car. So it goes pretty fast, but we have this here. So let's address it. The first thing we'll do is create a new scene. This is going to be for our transition, so I'll simply call this transition car. Okay, and inside of the transition car, we simply have to drag in our car video. So this over here, let's grab the whole thing and bring it in. So here, let's identify the first frame that we want for the video. I probably should have made proxies for all of these because they are 2K, 4K. So let's say this is going to be our first frame. I'm going to grab the ripple tool over here and I'm going to ripple delete the beginning. So we only need this first frame. I'm going to move forward one frame and I'll make a cut. And we're going to want to keep this part for later. So what comes after our first frame? So let's simply right click on it and go to Save Clip Part to Bin. This is going to create a zone inside of the project bin, which is this part over here that we just cut out. Okay, let's zoom in. So we have our first frame over here. This is just one frame. And we're doing this because we just need one instance, so one image here that we can extend. There are three different ways that we can go about this. The first one, which is I think the simplest one, is to right click on your monitor and go to extract frame. Now, if you're going to do color grading to your video, you can either do it and then extract that frame, or you can not do it and extract the raw frame. And when you do your color grading, you apply it to the image that you just extracted. Okay, you can also extract frame to project. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to add it inside of exports. I'll leave the name as it is. I'll say save. And it's going to bring this image that we just saved into the project. This is now a still image of this image of the car over here. Okay, this is the extract frame method. You can extract or extract to project or extract to clipboard too if you want. But anyways, the other method, which has to do with effects, is to simply look up freeze. Add the freeze effect if you want. So let's add it to this first frame over here. Left click, hold, and drag it out. And it should simply freeze our footage. If ever you're getting any sort of weird hiccups, or you did something to the video and now freeze is acting weird, you can always simply reset the effect or readjust the values. So leave it to 0 and it will freeze on the first frame of this cut over here. It also has other options, but I don't really play around with freeze that much. Anyways, so that's method number 2. And now for method number 3, which is somewhat unconventional, we could say. I learned this one, I believe it was on Reddit, is to simply hold down Control, left click on the right edge of your clip, so the end of it, left click, hold, and drag out. And you're going to slow it down, but it's only one frame, so it shouldn't change. But sometimes it does change if you look over here. And this does happen. So my fix for this is to then trim it, hold down Control, left click, hold, and drag again, and check if the error occurs again, right? Because usually you don't really need to drag it so far, but if you do, maybe it's better to extract an image of it. So it really depends. So whichever one of the methods you decide to use should work for what we need to do. So for this one, I'm going to use the freeze method. So how many frames do we need? It really depends on how long you want your transitions to be. But let's say we go ahead and put this on the 12 frame. So this is 11. I'll delete the audio. So that was step number 1. Step number 2 is to cut out a part of your image wherever you want to do the transition from. And to do so, you can either use the rotoscoping effect, which honestly for a simple shape like this is pretty simple. You would just left click, make your selection, right click when you're done to close the selection. Let's switch this over to add so we can still see everything. Go to the right side here of the monitor so we can get the zoom in, and just refine your selection to your shape. So that is one option that you have. If you think it's too much, or if you're dealing with more complicated shapes, or even if you want your freeze frame to not be frozen, but to actually be a couple frames, then there is the next method. So I'm not going to finish this selection over here, but it was going so well. Anyways, I'll disable this. Let's zoom out here, reset the zoom. The alternative method is to grab our clip, but before we do so, let's simply crop this down to just one frame again. I'll even turn off the freeze frame for now. Let's see. Okay. So the alternative method to do our selection very quickly is to go up here inside of Effects and Composition and go to Create an Object Mask. Let's click on the plus. Give it a moment. This is supposed to be just one frame, so it should be extracting just one frame. And now we can left click here on the light, give it a moment, it should make a selection. And if your selection doesn't need any refinement, you're good. But if you need to include other parts, or this hasn't selected your entire object, hold down Shift, left click again. You can also left click, hold and drag these dots. And if you want to exclude some areas, you can see here it's trying to grab the grid in the front. You can hold down Control and left click, and it will exclude these parts that you've selected. More dots are not necessarily better, so just keep that in mind. So let's go here, let's move this around, let's see if we can get it to not grab the outside of the car. Once we're done, we can go over to Generate Mask, left click, and because this was just one frame, it took no time at all, and let's apply mask. This is going to add the shape alpha effect to our object. We can now scale this back out to 12 frames. Let's activate our freeze frame. I'll move the freeze at position, reset it back to 0, make sure it's on 0, and there we have it. Now, for the shape alpha, you'll notice that it's not working, only works on the first frame. This is just because of the offset and the out. Set the out all the way back down to 0, and now it will work for the entire duration. Okay, the last issue here is we need to invert the mask. Before we do so, let's make a copy of our clip. So I'm going to go to the beginning or press Ctrl C with the clip selected, go to the track above and press Ctrl V. This is going to paste our track. Let's double check if everything is okay with the freeze frame. I don't really use the freeze frame effect because of that. It does little weird things sometimes, but it works. It works. Okay, so there we have it. And now for the layer above, so the clip above here, I'm going to look for another effect, and this is going to be the alpha operations. Drag it in, and let's invert. So now at the top here, we have just the car, no light, and at the bottom, we have just the light, no car. Now the last thing, if I drag both of these up here, let's go ahead and drag something with different colors. So if I zoom in here for our mask, you can see how we have these sharp, jagged edges. Now you can use the alpha operation, not just to invert the selection, but also to, for example, blur. So you can blur these edges here. Set it to a not too much, not too little amount of blur, just to have softer edges in here. Okay, a bit like this. We can delete this over here. This was just as a placeholder or something to have contrast. Let's zoom back out. Step number 3 is to animate the light underneath. So let's add a transform effect to it. On the last frame, I'm going to add a keyframe, so it has to be in place. On the first frame, the first keyframe, I'll drag it down on the y-axis to move it down behind the car. Let's say here. And for the keyframe, I'm going to set the interpolation to smooth so that it's not too fast, it's not too slow, has a little bit of rhythm to it. All right then, and the very, very last step is to add a box blur effect. You can also go with directional blur, but directional blur does not go outside. Let's just write blur. The directional blur does not go outside of the object. So it doesn't go into the alpha, but the box blur does. So on the last frame, I'm going to add a keyframe, make sure to set it to 0. Actually, I'm going to let the vertical set to 1. And for the first keyframe, I'm going to set vertical to something like 61, let's say 51, and the horizontal here to 5. For the keyframe interpolation, let's set it to cubic out, and let's see what it looks like. Perfect. I'm setting it to such a high value in the beginning because it's going to drop very quickly and it's still behind the car in the beginning. So it's okay. And as it actually starts to show, then the value of the blur is dropping enough for it to present itself. So we can even go a little lower. So let's say 40. So it's still blurry enough, but not too blurry, but still blurry enough so that it's believable that there's this motion happening. Anyways, all right, so with this out of the way, we can create a new scene and we're going to say intro v3 and let's import our transition car inside of here. And we're going to need the talking head for the transition. I think it's this one over here. Let's drag it in. Okay. So by the end here is what we're looking for. So when the transition is meant to happen, let's say here is fine, and I'll put this here. So these are 12 frames. It doesn't have to be 12 frames. We could trim this down, for example, to set it to 9. I'll go back to the car transition. I'm going to move the keyframe for the animations a little further back. So here, do the same thing for the box blur. That way I can trim it without losing the end of the animation. So when it actually fully closes. So now to actually create the transition, let's add a transform effect to our sequence over here. So I'll jump to the last frame, I'll add a keyframe, jump to the first keyframe over here, and we simply want to zoom this in until it covers the entire canvas. So basically we don't see it anymore. So let's go for something pretty big. Move it upwards. We can also zoom out for a better view. Okay, and for the keyframe interpolation, I'm going to set this one to cubic out. So it goes very fast in the zoom out. And the very last touch would be to add a bit of blur. So let's go with box blur. I'll add the box blur over here. On the last keyframe, or the last frame, I'll add a keyframe. I'll leave it to 1, 1 for the blurriness, or maybe just 0, 1. So it's not so blurry. In the very beginning here, I'm going to add a lot of vertical blur. Not too much or that much either. Let's say something like
35, and then for this one, we'll make it 5.
And for the interpolation, we'll make it cubic out as well. So it dials down pretty fast. And because of that, I'm going to increase the initial value quite a lot. So we still have a bit of blur as it's moving backwards. Okay. Now all that's missing is for us to go and grab the zone that we saved earlier and place it after our clip. So now there's a seamless continuation here into the video clip. So the next step is to accelerate our original video clip. We're going to play along with the natural motion of the camera, which is going backwards, which is going to help us with this zoom out motion that we're creating already. So for this, there are several ways that you can accelerate your clips. You can either simply right click, go to change speed, or hold control, left click on the end, accelerate the whole thing. You could also use the time remapping in order to add keyframes to somewhat control the speed, if you will. So we can add a keyframe here. Let's go and add one here. Left click, drag it all the way to the beginning. So this is extremely fast, and the second one not as fast. So it's kind of slowing down, and the last one a little slower. And this would give us this custom speed ramp effect here, right? A little bit of acceleration and slowing down, kind of. We could also even add the frame blending to add motion blur. So it would have its own natural motion blur added to it. So if we have a quick look here, we have natural motion blur added to it from the time remapping, or we could add our own fake motion blur using the box blur. So for the end, I'm going to make it extremely fast so that we get extra motion blur for the next transition. That's how I made the first transition. Now for the other transitions, it's something somewhat similar. So I'll break down this one and then we'll look at how it was done. So let's turn off all of the extra effects over here. So the natural motion for this one was a forward moving camera. So as you can see here, it's basically moving towards the marble on the wall. So I first had to reverse the clip. So for this transition over here, I'm using a rotoscope effect to cut out the marble in the wall. I have 2 of these, and both of these are images, so I extracted the frames. And I have a rotoscope to cut it out. I have the box blur for the blurriness of it, and I have a transform that is controlling the scale of it throughout the video. So it starts very small over here and gradually increases in size until we get to the other scene, which also has a rotoscope to have a hole in the wall, also has a bit of box blur for the motion blur of the environment, and has a transform as well to match the movement of the first one on top here. So they're both zooming out, and it's something similar that was applied for each of the following. So if we look at the effects here, we have our freeze frame, so we stop it. We have our alpha shape or shape alpha, so we cut out a piece that we want to keep. The alpha operation to smooth things out. In this case, we have our transform for the animation. Then I have a transform for the scale of the scene itself because I wanted to zoom in a little bit. And then we have our box blur for the motion blur. Next to it is the rest of the scene, which is accelerated, so I increase the speed of it. For this one, basically the same thing. We have the shape alpha. So I made a selection of the rider and created a mask out of it. Use the transform to animate the entrance. So slides from right to middle, and then the box blur for motion blur. And that's essentially the principle behind all of these transitions. So I have a Ko-fi link down in the description for those of you who like to support the channel. You can click on this playlist here to learn more about Kdenlive or this playlist to learn more about Friction. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.